Well, hello! Welcome to mock battles. Something I don't do that often, but when I do, apparently I do them in bulk. Because there are a lot of you to get through. Okay, so we're starting with light season. So anyone who requested light season is, obviously getting priority, for this week since it's light season. And I'm trying to get these done in little batches, like little groups of 4. So we're gonna try and do 4 today. And we are gonna start with Oomomow. Oomomow. You sound like a scat, like you know, in jazz singers they do that scatty skadoodle. Anyway, I tried this map twice. I beat it on my second try, although I can't get the pots. But again, I did second try. So, you know. Anyway, so I might need another turn to set this up correctly. Problem is I would really like to set this up on turn 2. Ideally, I want to do this on turn 2.
Lovely. Very well.
So I'm gonna see if I can set this up for turn 2. And I think I can. I don't want to go turn 3 because then the bolt tower triggers and then I'm left with too many turns.
Let's see.
So shockingly, I am actually just gonna leave this like this. And I'll go over the team after we clear it the first time so you can kind of see my suggestions, etc. Yeah. 69. Now, Archer Emblem is actually really, really strong. Really strong. And I think I've set this up wrong. Come to think of it. I may have.
Yes.
Maybe not. I think this is fine. Because I think I just go... No, I don't. I don't do that. I don't do that. Why don't I do that? I did this wrong. I set this up wrong.
Lovely.
Actually, this might still be okay. Will it be okay? I mean, it should be.
Very well.
I think this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Isn't quite what I did last time, but that's okay. Don't worry, I'll go over it at the end. Well, not at the end, but after we've cleared this once. Alright, this is a little different. Because I baited a little too far back from the first time I did this.
Sure thing. Yes.
And because of that, we might have gotten ourselves in trouble.
I can help.
But maybe not, who knows.
The glimmer of life. Very well.
We're about to find out. Problem is, I think Neff does too. Oh no, maybe she doesn't. Yeah, okay. This was my problem. I could either clear this whole map, no problem. Because everyone was so aggressive. Or I would get to I would waste too many turns and I would get to turn 7 and then, I couldn't get the pots. So no matter what, I haven't been able to get the pots. And again, I've only played this map 3, well, that was actually my 3rd try. So, yeah, the first time Alm actually killed me. He overkilled by 4 or something like that. So here's the stitch. This is an infantry pulse team. We've got Candlewax, Lucina, Sturdy Impact. We've got Alm with Fury, with a good old Lunar Flash ready. We've got Anna over here, Fortune Bow for the sabotage, and etc. I don't really worry about the sabotages anymore because Soren's 51 res has so far, proven to be more than sufficient to dodge it all. Neffany is a fantastic dancer here. Wow, you really went for her too. And we've got good old Green with Hardy Bearing, which she really should be the one, she's the one I'm most afraid of on this map, but because she's so far back, I've never had to worry about her. So there's also that. Eleonora doesn't do what I think she should do. The problem that I have with her being up in this corner is that her rally, attack speed, and her ruse, she's not in a position to actually rally or ruse anybody. So if you actually swapped these two, or just put Eleonora in the middle and maybe put Nephany in the corner or something instead, you know, she could rally Lucina, or if you had her over here, she could rally Alm. I feel like you should have her in that sort of position, because right now she can't do anything. Until, like, after the map has moved, she can only do it in post, and I don't really think the post is all that helpful. And especially if you had her in the middle over here, she would go down rally, and then Neff might dance her immediately, and she might be the one to attack first. And because Mirage Longbow is basically a fire sweep, a conditional fire sweep, that may be more ideal, unless you find yourself facing a lot of Null C and all that. So anyway, it's actually a nice team. Archers are grossly underrated when it comes to, like, a whole emblem of them. A lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, everyone runs flyers on offense. And the reason is because all of our offensive mythics are flyers. So unless you've got IOTs on everybody, which I'm sure you don't, and all of these guys have pitiful defense anyway. Look, my Peony has 11 defense, and yes, I'm running life and death, but still. And even Air with Fury has 17 defense, which means she's got 40 at base, which is kind of sad. So, you know, you're bound to get a kill or two if you've got an archer on your team, and you can lunge forward enough that you can pick off someone in the background. Now, part of the issue I have with this map is actually this catapult here, because I think these three things right here don't need to be here. I think this is here because we're trying to prevent people snagging this ether. But I kind of feel like if someone was clumsy and they put someone here and put someone here, which they might do if these buildings weren't here, you might be able to sneak a surprise kill from this spot. I think this is a really good position for the bolt tower. Healing tower is a little easy to snipe, because you can just snipe someone up and then repo them back without any consequences, really. So I don't know if I like that. It does open up Eleonora, so maybe that's a trap. But I think the rest of this is good. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways to go about this, but this is a pretty good map for what you're attempting to do. I actually looked at this and got really concerned when I first saw it. I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. I don't think I can do this. But I just tried to throw Soren at it to face tank, and he can. And here's why. So at base right now, he's got 37 defense. And Caden, for ranged units, and this is a 100% ranged map, gives an additional plus 10 to defense, plus the 6 buff. So Soren's getting another 16 to his defense here. And then in addition to that, the reason why I had Peony in this spot over here is because my Peony runs the Distant Guard seal and the Drive Defense seal. So that's an additional 7 on top of that. So effectively, Soren ends up with an additional 23 defense, which puts me at 50, 60 defense total against ranged units, which is enough to take this bonfire and this lunar flash without any trouble. And because my attack is high enough, I can kill them on retaliation. So what I would suggest is, I don't know quite why you have this catapult here. I would move the flyer school to where the catapult is, and then I would put the one of the Bright Shrine there instead. Because if I didn't have that extra attack, I think it would be a little bit more difficult to kill. And yeah, I would work on the order of this back line up here. I mean, it is a very strong map, don't get me wrong. Like, this is actually a very
Lovely.
it's just a very strong map in general, you know. I actually haven't tried to do this with Delphia because she's not that fast. But okay. My Delphia's running Vantage, but she also takes a heck of a lot of damage from, like, everything. So, I mean, this is, I guess, another solution-ish sort of thing, except Delphia just can't do much except kill that Eleonora. So I guess I could do this in reverse.
Sure thing. Okay. Your command, the glimmer of light. Good morning.
I don't know, this is a good idea, but,
Very well.
I mean...
Okay.
I don't know. This is probably not gonna work. I just kind of was tapping. I wanted to see what would happen. Yeah, we're gonna lose Peony or Air or someone. Or, yeah, meh. But you know, I mean, like, it's one of those things that if you don't math this right, you can easily lose units, as you can see here.
Yes.
Very easy to lose some units.
Yes. Let's see. Lovely.
Yeah, like that, right?
Very well.
But I mean, in this scenario, I could get the pots, finally. I lost 2 units, but I could get the pots. But you get the idea, right? I think the Bright Shrine would definitely help out here, and I would really work on the back lineup, because I really feel like Eleonora should be a much bigger threat, just because she is a conditional fire sweep. So I really like this map overall, though. I don't see Archer Emblem very often, but it is super strong. Just keep in mind that it is pretty weak to someone like a Fae, or a triple distant defense user, especially if you have like a Ewan or a Lu. Both of them really gimp this map a bit. And actually, depending on how you play this, a female Morgan might be able to gimp this map a little bit because of her new refine if you ran her with distant defense and some additional support. So just food for thought. I don't know what you've seen, but I also wonder if a Canagus might be able to just kind of cream through this. I could test it, but I think that's enough. I think that's enough for now. I do really like this, though. It's a good map. It is a good map. Okay, let's move on to Paragon. I'm using the same team. Now, this map actually is a little bit tricky. I could show you how to beat it first. I guess I should just kind of go over this first. I know I didn't do that on the last one, but this one actually took me 1 try to figure out what the strategy was for turn 1, and then 2 more tries to figure out the exit strategy for turn 2, because the exit strategy for turn 2 is not good. And I do have some suggestions to make this even more of a pain in the ass to beat. I don't know why I'm giving you advice on how to make these worse, because honestly, like, I don't want to face any of these in a real match. I really don't. Anyway.
Yes.
So we're just gonna do the following. Take 1 turn to set up here.
Sure thing.
We're just gonna do this.
To kill. Death's caress. Ready.
I'm gonna put Peony here, and this is actually kind of important.
Okay.
And then we're gonna sit Soren here. And then we are going to gimp the AI. So we're gonna take 1 hit from Seliph. And then we'll take a hit from Micaiah, so that's not a second hit from Seliph, which is nice. And then we get to get hit by the Eliwood, who is not fast enough to double us, so then we get lunged, and then we take the most damage from Yoon, who hits us with, her, whatchamacallit. Yeah, okay. With her special, which I think was Iceberg. I don't know. Anyway, Delphia ends up with exactly the right amount of,
Good morning.
attack to kill. We can swap her in.
Very well.
We can take out... Well, I thought I could take out... Oh, shoot, I was supposed to do something. Okay, hang on 1 second. Hang on. I forgot my thing. It's still winnable from that point, but I want to show you the solution that I found. So, sorry, bear with me.
Let's see.
I mistapped.
Yes. Lovely. The glimmer of light. Maybe this way.
I got excited. It happens.
Ready.
Alright. Let's try this again. So anyway, 1 hit from Seliph. And then because we're green, we bait out Micaiah, and she does some damage. Eliwood breaks the thing and then goes in with Elazura, hits us for 6 damage, and then we get lunged, and Yoon does some damage. I think she has Moonbow, actually, huh? She must have Moonbow. Okay. And then our Bolt Tower goes off. So that's kind of important to have done that by turn 2, and I have to do it while Caden's nearby because he's going to be giving me enough attack to one-shot this Sothis. And then I can take out this Eliwood.
Good morning. I can help.
Dance, swap.
Yes.
And then I can take Seliph here. And this is kind of the point where it gets a little uncomfortable for me because I actually, if I want to go this way, I have to take out Micaiah or else I lose Caden. So then Azura can't do any Doran to Salmon, so she can't do any Doran to Salmon. That's what I said. I said Doran to Salmon. Apparently your new name is Salmon, Soren. Sorry about that. Yeah, so let me explain a little bit about what's going on here. Essentially, I'm using Soren to face tank things he should not face tank. Rather than trying to player face Seliph, we just outright avoid him altogether. We'll just take 1 hit from him, chip a little damage. No one here really has enough attack to hurt my boy here all that much when he's being supported. So this can obviously be a problem. Honestly, Micaiah is probably the thing that I don't like the most because she basically guaranteed one-shots Caden no matter what. Whereas Sothis, generally, Caden can take a hit or 2 from her and be okay. So I really don't like Micaiah here. Now the hard part about this is getting the pots. It is doable, but it requires a much less aggressive approach, and I don't particularly like it. It involves going through the same process, having Soren do all that, and then I just have to take out Eliwood and then retreat, and then just take some hits with Seliph while I send people this way, and then slowly pick people off, and then let Caden bait out Azura, and just take those hits until we can get that final pot. And it is pretty close. It usually takes them until turn 6 in order to do that. But okay, so to make this map more difficult, I actually think you should swap this lightning trap with this bolt trap. I don't know if this is the real trap. I don't even know. Is it? I want to see. I don't actually know. Yeah, it is. Okay. If that's the case, I would actually swap these two. Just because I don't know what it does with other types of teams, because this is kind of the type of team this is the only type of team I really run for all of my things. The only difference is my, one additional support unit. I would swap these two. I really would. I mean, unless you're assuming that, like, say, if, like a fallen Corrin was put here instead or something, that she would kill Seliph. If she can, then I guess leave it there because Eliwood would lunge onto that trap. But this is kind of a weird situation, like... It's a weird situation, because if you don't kill Seliph, he blocks the whole path, right? And so Eliwood has to open up the path himself, and then that lunges you onto a gravity trap that may or may not even be the real gravity trap. And since it is... I don't actually think... Is it the real gravity trap? I don't even know.
Sure thing. Your command.
I mean, I don't actually know. Is that the real gravity trap? Now I want to find that out. I gotta know. I wanna know. Can you show me?
Okay.
Is it? No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so your right side is really vulnerable to attacks like that, so I'd keep that in mind. I would actually get rid of these two things here. well, I suppose it doesn't even really matter. I just prefer open maps to kind of boxed in maps like this. The left side is pretty solid. I don't think there's any real way to get through that. What I will say is that you really should have Hardy Bearing. Like, I know you have Elliewood. I know he has Fire Sweep. But you really should run Hardy Bearing on somebody other than Micaiah. Like, I get it. I get why you don't want to. But, like, here's the thing. I have a Brave Ike. The Hardy Bearing thing is only going to be useful against someone like an Ike with damage deflection. If you actually get that second hit. Micaiah does not have the speed to get that second hit. I've seen Brave Ikes with speeds up in the 50s, which is ridiculous, but it's true. And then in general, he typically has it about like 35. And so there's no way she's ever going to double him. You know what I mean? Unless you ran double attack speed bond, then maybe you could pull it off. But even then, she'd only have like 31 speed because you've got a minus speed here. So the Hardy Bearing here is really only good for sniping off a Vantage unit. And her attack isn't so great that I feel like that will be a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure if I messed around with this some more, I could find a way for Titania, all buffed up and blade tomed, to just snipe Elliewood and then still survive, because she has a ton of res that even with the effective damage, I don't think Micaiah will do much. But I don't know. I feel like you should have another Hardy Bearing here. I really do. I mean, Sothis doesn't need that extra speed. I really don't feel like she needs the extra speed. I really don't. Healing Tower's in a good spot. Bright Shrine's in a good spot, but actually, in your case, I feel like you should go for a Dark Shrine instead. You've only got one fast unit on here. Elliewood, I'm not really counting. Getting up to 47 on player phase to me isn't all that great. Sothis here is going to be getting buffed with speed opening, and then she's already got the 48 base speed, plus she's got the attack speed bond, so she's the fastest thing on here. The only thing you're gaining with this minus 5 attack speed is the minus attack, which just makes your units a little bit bulkier, which I don't think they really need to be. So I'd swap that for a Dark Shrine. And that's kind of all my thoughts on this map, actually. But I don't know, I feel like this map is really easy to choke point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I almost wonder if not the Fire Sweep Lance, but a normal Brave Elliewood Lance, the Ninny's Lance, would perform better because it has so much more might and it gives him more speed, I think. Plus the Beast effectiveness, so that he could go against... Is it Beast effective or Dragon effective or both? I forget. It's one of the two. Or it's both. I don't remember. It's one of them. Or both of them. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with this one. I wonder if you should just take that off of him altogether. I get the Heavy Blade Moonbow, but if you don't get that second hit, then what good is that Heavy Blade? I'm so much more tempted just to say, put the Hardy Bearing on Elliewood and then put his regular lance back on. That's my advice for you for him. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have to say on this map. It's actually a pretty decent map. It does need some tweaking. I actually think the biggest issue with this map is the terrain. I think the terrain, rather than the mix of units, is screwing you up. But yeah. Alright, cool. Thank you. Okay, and now it's time for Una. Una? Not sure. All I know is that this map took me a little while to figure out. Yeah. So I hate AR defense skills. I really hate them. I hate them so much. There's no reason why you should have that much res and speed and everything else, I hate them very much. But anyway, we've got a Hardy Bearing Candle Wax, Corin over here. We've got Selkie, Sothis, and Camilla with these AR defense speed res skills, which is, I think those come off of Mercedes. Is that what it is? I think it is. And then you've been able to basically keep most of your buildings up here, so I think, like, no matter what, I think, what is it? It's like greater than 5 grants 10, 4 grants 7, 3 grants 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Because the fortress actually counts as 1. So, like, no matter what, you always get +1. Yeah. I hate them, but I do have a solution for this.
All right. The glimmer.
It's a very messy solution.
I've made up my mind.
I'm just gonna take that out because we can.
Yes.
First couple turns don't really matter that much here.
Good morning.
Alright, so here's basically the deal. Titania needs speed, and we're just gonna go ahead and buff her up. She's already getting attack and res from air, and she can go ahead and snag Corin there. And then what I do is I smite Soren up, and he hides back here, because he can.
Yes.
And then we put Delphia down here. And then what happens is Camilla goes, and we can actually survive that moonbow. And we bait out the dancer. And Sothis does this annoying thing with shove. Like, it's a really annoying thing. And then I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Almost literally. Now, I've tried a few different things here, and the best thing I've found is to just kind of do a very strategic retreat, because while I can kill some of these, it's really hard to exit afterwards. Like, we can try killing this right now.
Good morning.
Very well. Should I?
Because this isn't so bad.
Yes. Your command.
I think I can do this here, maybe. I'm not too sure. I haven't tried this yet. I'm pretty sure this ends in failure. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe not. Yeah, so the problem is that Selkie and doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Sothis does basically no damage, and so I can basically sit here and just kind of snipe. Now, I do have to use, like, almost no damage gets done to Selkie by anybody but air. So I actually have to use air to kill Selkie.
All right.
And then I can kill Sothis.
Okay.
And this Yoon is actually weirdly strong.
Should I?
I don't know if she kills Titania. I don't think she does. Maybe she does. I haven't tested.
See.
We're gonna go ahead and try that. We got one pot down. We're on turn 5. I don't think I can get the second pot, so don't ask me to try. Maybe I can. Yeah, no, I can't. Soren kills him. But anyway, that's kind of the biggest weakness of this map, is it can easily be vantaged. Mostly because none of these units have particularly high attack. Like, you're working with a lot of units that have mid to low 50s and even into the 40s. Like, Selkie has 46, Azura has 44, and she's so easily baited, you know? I'm not quite sure why you went with HP plus 5 on her. I would also consider giving her one of these next Mercedes you get. Like, honestly, why don't you just, like, replace everything on this map with that? That would be incredibly annoying. I don't know that I have too much in the way of, I don't know that I have much in the way of advice for this map, because it is actually really strong. Of the ones I've done so far, yours has taken me the most tries to figure out. So kudos for that. I mean, it is a scoring team overall, so I'm sure you don't lose much on defense anyway. I would go for defense smoke instead of speed smoke on Selkie. I would even go for chill defense. Although I wonder about using the chills at all, just because you've already got these, and I feel like most people don't necessarily have a soak for it. I'm not sure I would. I don't know. I feel like you'd have better luck with like a sturdy blow there or a swift sparrow there, one of the two, and then replacing the smoke for a defense smoke. I mean, but she's effectively got like 60 res at any given time. She's ridiculous and really hard to kill. And yeah, I really question putting the Hardy Bearing on Corin. I think it might actually be better on Selkie. And the reason for that is because Selkie is really hard to snipe. And if you can get her to rally at any point in order to kind of control where she's going, I think she has a better chance of kind of like sniping someone off. The only issue is that she has really, really, really low attack, 46. And I know that she can get another +7. So I guess that puts her at, 52, technically, like an effective 52. And then if she's transformed, she can get another 2, so that puts her at 54, which really isn't that bad, but like, Corin's got 56. It's barely better. So I'd consider that. I would honestly consider that. I get why you're using flyer formation here, but I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, I see a lot of traps that you're probably trying to use, but the only one I ever see work is the Wings of Mercy trap. That's the only one that ever triggers. The rest of them don't really do much. But I'm not sure. I haven't tried baiting from the left. I don't really want to because it is a lunge trap, where you just kind of get lunged up into everything, and I don't really think it's a great... I mean, we can try it. I mean, there's no harm in it.
Your command.
Very well. I've made up my
Good
mind.
morning.
We can just try it. I don't think it's gonna be great. I don't think it'll do anything. Oh, right. I shouldn't have put Delphia there. Yeah, see. That's kind of... I feel like she should have Hardy Bearing. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do against Selkie, let's be real. Not with my mages. Like, the only one I can use to kill Selkie effectively is either a special from Soren or Delphia. Or just use air. Yeah. So, that's kind of my advice here. I'd swap Hardy Bearing from Corin to Selkie. And I'd consider giving Azura a different A skill. I don't think that HP +5 is really helping her all that much. I think the only thing the HP +5 even really does is put her out of tactics room range. But even that is kind of like a toss-up, because you don't know what area it's going to be in, and if she's already got some sort of movement skills, and she's got guidance, which I don't think she should have. I think she might want to be the one with flyer formation instead, because if she moves 2 spaces down, to attack the spot that I was going from, like, these 2 are the only ones that can benefit from guidance, and they're not getting anything from it, So consider that. Camilla's IOTS is totally fine. I think that's great. I think her panic play is great. I think all of that is totally good. But I would question flyer formation, and I would question guidance, and I would swap the Hardy Bearing seal. That would be my advice here. And I would also give her a new A skill. That's not HP +5. I really don't see how that's helping her. Yep. Kill another Mercedes for this thing. And you know what would be even better that you could try? Rather than speed res, if you could get a Picnic Flora that has attack res, that might be really disgusting. I'm just saying. Yeah, anyway. Yep, that's it. That's it for this one. So thank you for that, and I think we're gonna go on to the next one. And you're not going out, you just came in. You just chill. You just chill. You're a good girl. Sorry. Yeah, okay, we're going for IM speed. Okay, you do one of my least favorite things, which is not infantry pulse. I don't mind infantry pulse most of the time. You boxed your units in. This map would be extremely annoying if you didn't have this right there. I think that's just kind of what it boils down to for me. There's a few ways to beat this map, but the kind of cleanest way I've found so far
Maybe yes.
involves a setup somewhat like this.
Sure thing.
And I've beat this map a few times,
Death's caress.
and I always beat it a different way. So we'll, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, this is a basic infantry pulse team. We've got Blazing Wind on Sonya. We've got Marissa with Sudden Panic. So I don't really know how necessarily this Panic Manor is unless you're running into a lot of people with more than 67 HP. In which case this isn't going to do jack shit anyway, so I would swap this out. We've got Sothis with an Instant Serious. We've got a Life and Death 4 Ophelia with plus attack 64. She's taking my chill attack right now, so that's kind of problematic. But she doesn't have the rally up, so she doesn't get any of that cleared. And then we've got Ground Orders Micaiah. Shockingly, she's actually a little bit of a problem here. And then we've got Blazing Thunder Micaiah. It's funny, when I did my first infantry pulse team, I actually did this on Micaiah. I pulsed her down, and it was so that she could attack twice with the Hardy Bearing. She could get an instant Blazing Wind or Blazing Thunder or whatever, and then attack again. So this is like the one way to make a 22 speed unit with no automatic follow-ups. Get an automatic follow-up. So yeah, we're just gonna face tank this. We don't take that much damage from Sonya. In fact, we only take damage from Blazing Wind, which still isn't that much. And then we pulse everyone else down. So this Micaiah can't do anything really to us. And now Ophelia can't get to us.
Okay.
So I am just gonna...
The glimmer of life. Your command.
Draw her back. This is... Okay, so the reason I'm doing that is because Caden only has 49 HP, and when she heals up, I think Sudden Panic kicks in.
I can help.
And I don't want to deal with that. So I'm gonna just bait from over here. And we'll take Micaiah, pulse her down, and then we'll pulse Ophelia down, so she's no longer an issue. And now all we have to do is take out everything else here.
Yes.
So there's a couple of different ways to do this. I have an easier time with
Death's caress.
kind of yeeting up my little buddy here.
Yes. Ready. The glimmer of life.
Sure thing.
By doing this again,
Very well.
and then just moving Soren down. And this way, Micaiah will attack air. There was no need for... we just need to make sure that she didn't, like, kill us outright. And so now we can actually advance.
Yes.
I haven't tested any of these traps, so I legitimately don't know which ones are real. Except I do know that one's real. I haven't tested that.
Okay.
You want me to kill.
So effectively, now we have to,
Death's
we have to kill.
Sure thing.
I don't know if this is real. It's not. Okay. Well, that's good. I don't think it would have mattered to me if it was, because Marissa can't counter.
Ready.
Let's see.
Do I want to do that?
Very well.
Because I could just do this.
Your command.
And then we've got game. Yeah, so honestly, it's a good map. It's a really strong map. This combination is really... why does it do this? I hate this. It's a really good map, and I like it. I'm sure it gets a lot of wins. But the part that I don't like about it... I think it's funny that she has 22 speed with life and death. The part I don't like about it is this, that you've basically locked yourself in. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if you're really trying to stall, but the problem is you have so many baitable units that it makes it very difficult for you to stall someone out. Like, as you saw, like, even kind of playing a little casually, I made it with a couple of turns to spare. And I still got all the ether because you put them down here. And there's no reason to put these down here. I actually think you should move them back up here into the top, unless you just don't care if people get your ether, in which case, don't worry about it. But sometimes putting the ether up in the upper hand corners are the way that you get kind of like a careless last minute hit, so to speak. So think about that. I actually don't like this Micaiah on this team because if you're gonna stall, you don't want to give your units a lot of extra movement, right? Like, the only reason that you would want her there is to get Ophelia down there to attack, and she can't really do much down there. I would just swap her places with Marissa if you're going to keep this layout. But otherwise, if you're going to keep Brave Micaiah on this team, I would 100% get rid of these two. This Panic Manor is not doing anything for you. It's just really not. No one's going to bait from this side. No one's going to bait from these spaces. You know, it's an easy snipe to get rid of it. Everyone's going to have an Air or a Peony or an Altina that they could, you know, swank back. I don't know if you're going to run this on Aster or not. And I just, that's kind of what I think in terms of that. Like, replace it with something else. Put something else there. A catapult, maybe. I don't know. Anything. Most people don't check the catapults. But that's basically all the advice I have for this map. Everything else looks really good. I think your skill setup is nice. I think the unit selection is nice. I don't like this. And if you're going to keep this, I would put Ophelia in the front. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that was short and sweet. Let's go. And last one is RZL. Now, I have to say, this took so long to find a solution for. I just don't have the right units for this map. Oh my god. Alright, alright, listen. I've tried so many different things on this map that I may or may not remember the solution the first try. But I'll just briefly go over everything so I don't have to do it again. We have a disgusting Tethys. With an instant Glacies, by the way. I don't know about attack or finding the Ouch Pouch. I mean, she's got 41 attack as it is. I'd just go straight up Res Refine at that point. I actually think you'll get more damage out of it. The 1 point from the Ouch Pouch. So food for thought. This Marissa is also disgusting. She has so much bulk. She's got like 100 bulk. Well over 100 bulk in both defense and... yeah, and then we've got a lull speed defense Kagero. She's very difficult to work with Panic Smoke, no less, and Sturdy Impact. It's great. I hate it. And we've got a Silver Goblet Peony. I'm not quite sure why you gave her the Silver Goblet. I don't know that that ever really comes into play. But Ground Orders and Guidance, also disgusting. Wings of Mercy Sonya with Glacies and Mirror Impact, that's a staple. And, Fur. With another lull. This is just a lull team. I mean, all of the infantry units have lulls, except Sonya, who has Wings of Mercy. But, anyway, like I said, I may or may not remember the correct solution here, so bear with me. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attempt to pulse them down.
Good morning.
Okay.
And then retreat. And I'm actually gonna swap Caden in up here. And the reason is because Sonya will Wings of Mercy in. And will attack. Peony is just a one-shot. Straight up. So I don't want that to happen, so I'm not going to let it happen. So that's why Caden's getting swapped in. He's got 44 res, he can easily take it. Plenty of speed. Also getting some speed from Peony, so that's also good. Catapult destroyed our bolt tower, so we can't rely on that for damage, which really sucks, because at times I really feel like I need it. Because it's so hard to double all of these units. 250 speed sword units? Give me a break.
Your command.
Now Delphia's going over here because of even attack wave, I think. That's why I wanted it over here. Anyway, so Marissa goes to the right, which is good because that kind of divides the map. And that really helps buy me some time to deal with all of the threats on the left before I can't anymore.
Death's caress.
Now, I can't kill Sonya. There's been some scenarios where I can. If I go on turn 3, I can kill Sonya with air.
Yes.
But I'm actually gonna do this instead. Let me see if I can remember the correct thing here. There is a correct thing here. I just can't remember what it is. Crud.
Let's see.
See, I'm missing this kill by 1. Otherwise, this would be a lot easier if I wasn't missing this kill by like 1 point. I guess that's what Silver Goblet is doing. Right now, Silver Goblet is preventing me from getting that 1 point on Kagero. And yeah, not a good thing.
Maybe this way.
I don't remember what it was I was going to do here. I think I want to swap in.
Ready.
And then I think I'm just moving over here. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I think I'm just moving down. I think. I can't remember. I really can't remember. Soren does not live with that much HP. I barely get this kill. Peony can't catch up. And then we're left with a lot of pressure, basically. Now what did I do from here? What did I do from here? I have to kill this fur. So I think it's a matter of
Yes.
that.
Let's see.
And then this.
Good morning.
And then this.
You want me to kill?
I think I can hit her for this. I think. I'm pretty sure. I think this is okay.
The glimmer of life.
Air doesn't actually need to move. But we don't take any damage from Marissa. Tethys can't reach us. And then we just,
Sure thing.
I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
Snap this Marissa.
Maybe this way. You
And then we're gonna go ahead and snag this last ether and kill the Tethys. This was exceptionally hard. I know I just made that look pretty simple. And it sounds like I'm about to give you like a ton of feedback on how this map works, but trust me when I tell you, this took a long time to find a solution to. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but that's okay. It doesn't really screw anything up. It actually kind of does. I didn't mean to do that.
kill. Yes.
I'll show you another strategy I was trying
Let's see.
Death's
that I could not get to work.
I can help.
ready.
Yeah, okay. So, I was trying to test this gravity trap and then get Soren back
Maybe this way.
like this,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
And, yep.
To kill.
I set up that first turn wrong, so this is going to be kind of painful for a minute, so just bear with me. I know I'm wasting a lot of turns, but this doesn't actually win this method. I just wanted to show you the other thing. I actually find the right to be far more difficult to deal with than the left.
Death's caress.
So the most successful strategy I've had here is to do something like this.
Yes.
Because Marissa goes forward, and then she goes for air, and air can barely live. She's got enough speed that she makes it. And then I end up in this position. And the problem here is that the units aren't split enough for me to actually win from here. Everyone still has like a lot of speed and everything else, and I haven't pulsed these guys down enough, so if I hit them once, they're going to hit me for Dragon Fang and or Glacies. And I'm not in a position where...
I can help.
I'm not actually in a position where
Your command.
I can do a whole lot to remedy that said situation, because if I hit this,
Very well.
like I just can't do enough damage
Okay.
to these guys. I just
You want me to
can't.
kill?
I've tried, and someone always dies.
Let's see.
The glimmer of life.
Like, I can't kill this Marissa with all these units. She's got so much bulk, so much speed, I can't double her, and then everything just falls apart. I've tried so many variations of that, and nothing works. It just doesn't. I lose a unit. Even if it's only one, I still lose a unit, and I find that I'd rather beat these deathless than get all the pots. So... this just does not work for me. As you can see, I'm left with air on turn 7. It just does it. I just can't.
Caress.
I can kill Sonya, and I can get a snazzy game over screen. Oh no, I want to hit restart. Stop that. But yeah, this is an exceptionally strong map. I think I could see a way in which Bravike with some proper stacking could probably take this on pretty easily. I actually think that if I pulse them down reliably, I think Legendary Ike can tank this really well. But I can't actually test that. So yeah. I don't actually have any advice for you other than maybe change the refine on this Tethys. I'd give her a res refine. I think you'll actually get way more damage out of it. The only reason you'd ever want to go for an attack refine on the Ouch Pouch is honestly if you're using something with visible, that reads off visible attack or needs more attack, like so does Dragon Fang. So in this case, if you had, say, Ouch Pouch on Kagero, because she's using Dragon Fang, I do an attack refine like I have on my South, on my own defense, but I would go with res here. But everything else is just disgusting. It's hard to charge specials. You can't really buff yourself. I mean, like, I have to use Caden as a pseudo buff. There's no other way around it. And I can't Vantage Blade Tome this because, first off, Fur has so much res, and Marissa has so much HP. And then Tethys comes along here with, you know, a good deal of res, especially if she has her bond active in the Hardy Bearing, and I can't, you know? I really just can't Vantage this. So, yeah, good job. I don't really have any suggestions. It took a really long time to find that one solution, so this would have definitely been a ladder for me. Just an FYI. Because I would have never thought that the left was easier to go up because there's no room to maneuver. And I'm kind of lucky that I have drawbacks and swaps and aerobatics and all this sort of ground ordersy sort of things, because that's the only way I'm able to move around and be able to complete this map. So, kudos to you. You've got the toughest map of this whole session. Yeah. It's gross. I don't like it. It's really gross. I really hate it. Even with pulse smoke, it's gross. I assume Witchy Wand might be a little bit easier, but it's really hard to hop in and then exit with Witchy Wand. Like, exiting with a healer is very difficult, I found. Because, like, I can't leave Peony there, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Okay, so there's one other match that we were gonna kind of do. But I've decided not to do this one, and here's why. I've actually already done this map. I don't remember if I did it on a video, so I need to go back and check. But Faye has been replaced. This was something else when I last did this map. I do have a solution for it, because I've actually done this map a few times. but it involves Legendary Ike, and it also involves Brave Ike. I can do it with both, but it's complicated. So I don't want to do this right now. I don't think this map is beatable by Soren because of the Brave Bow Fae. There's just too much bold fighters, there's too much movement. Ike is really hard to kill, and you have to be able to kill him after you tank the rest of this, which is really, really difficult, so. And also, these two dancers just in and of themselves are just gross. I think the last time I did this, I sniped a dancer and then exited. And then tanked the rest. And it took like 4 turns to set up, and it was really annoying, but this is also a really strong map. Yeah, it's just also a really strong map. I got nothing, though. I've really got nothing. I'm not gonna do this today. I don't want to. You can't make me. You really can't. But I am gonna go back and check and see if I've already done this one, because I know I've played it quite a bit while testing new strategies and new comps and stuff, so that's why we're not doing that one. Anyway, that concludes all of the people who requested Light. Next season we'll go on to all the people who requested Astra, and I think all of you are meaner than the people who requested Light, just saying. Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll move on to everyone else who did not specify a season. I'll kind of play around with your maps and see what teams I want to mess with. So yeah, anyway, that's it for today's mock battles. And thank you guys so much for coming and watching and all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.